Welcome to the Jordan Christian Center series, Reconnecting Through Revelation. During this year-long program, we will take a word with the prefix re and do an in-depth study into this word. Today's word is restoration. Join us as we begin reconnecting through Revelation.
Hello, my name is Elder Williams, and I will be talking to you just a little bit more about restoration. Restoration in your life depends on whether you want to be built back better. When you are rusty, dirty, and in a state of disrepair, God can and will restore you and make you just like new. In the book of Genesis, God was with Adam in the garden, and there was no sin. God saw that all he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and then there was morning. In the book of Genesis, in the 3rd chapter, in the 6th verse, when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was delightful to the eyes, and that the tree would be desirable to make one wise, she took the fruit and she ate. And then she gave it to her husband, and he did eat also. The actions of one caused the entire creation to fall into sin. Their actions did not make all men guilty, but everyone after that was affected by sin. Therefore, through one man's sin entered into the world, and as a result of sin, experienced a spiritual death. And so death spread to all men because of all had sinned. In the book of Romans, the 5th chapter and the 12th verse is where you will find that information. For since by one man came death, by a man came the resurrection of death. The 1 Corinthians 15th chapter and the 21st verse. Death reigns all over the world. So long as there is sin in it, death will reign. The serpent's goal was to deceive the woman, and through her disobedience, it introduced the entire world to death. The beauty of this was that God had a plan all along. To the serpent, God said, "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He said, he shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on his heel." Genesis 3 and 15. Though Satan's goal was to reign over mankind through death, God's plan is hostile towards death. The key word in this passage is "I will." Before turning to the woman and the man and detailing their individual punishment for what they had done, before they even had a chance to kneel on their knees and beg for redemption, God revealed his plan to redeem and restore mankind. Ever since that moment in the garden, mankind has known God as the God of restoration. When we were created, or when we, the creation, are separated from the Creator, it is God's mission to restore us back to himself. In that moment in the garden, God revealed that his instrument of restoration would be the seed of the woman. The seed would be Christ. Many centuries passed between the garden and the coming of Jesus, who was the atonement for all of our sacrifices, or who was the atoning sacrifice for us. But while creation waited on the fullness of time, in the book of Galatians 4 and 4, God continued to reveal himself as the God of restoration. When mankind had tainted all of creation with continual sinfulness, God restored the world through the flood and the salvation of one family. When God's people were held captive by the pagan Egyptians, God restored their place to prominence in his plan. When the nation of Israel was corrupted by the kings, the bad kings, and the false gods, the true God sent prophets to restore the nation to their first love. When the city of God was in ruins, God sent Nehemiah. He sent Nehemiah to be the beginning of a long process of restoration. We know Nehemiah is best known for his work on the wall of Jerusalem, but reading through the book of Nehemiah helps us to quickly demonstrate where God was restoring all mankind. God set out a plan, and when his people forgot it or otherwise did not even do it, God provided a way to help them get back on track through restoration. What should this tell us about God? God continues to provide a way for restoration. So when we get, so when he gives us a plan, we must not forsake him. And if we fail and fall, God will still restore us. To build anything is a difficult task. To destroy is simple, but the project of rebuilding and to restore will always involve pain and sacrifice. Money, selfishness, time, and personal possessions, along with friends and even marriages, sometimes have to be sacrificed and surrendered unto God so that he can restore you. We must let go and let God do his thing. What is his thing? Restoration. We cannot restore ourselves. Is it easy to be restored? No. Is it painful to be restored? Yes, it is. Is it worth it? Absolutely. If we allow God to restore our lives, to build us back better, we can depend on God to be the God of our own restoration. God bless you.